Well, hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. And if you don't mind, there's something simple you could do. You could actually subscribe to my channel. Let's talk about retirement. Now, many out there were like me. They started working at an early age, trying to climb that ladder of life to get ahead and have an American dream. The reason I'm saying that because, I am from the U.S. and our American dream is to be successful, own a home, raise a family, and then when the time comes for retirement, to be able to enjoy life. Now, most will work 40 plus years, even 50 or more. And you want to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And many will do as I did. They're climbing that ladder of life. They're building a base, getting things moving forward, and the ladder breaks, and you fall. You get up and dust your pants off, fix the ladder, and start climbing again. You get things back in order again after that struggle. And you start at it again. You hammer, you burn the candle at both ends. In the meantime, you probably have started a family and probably got a mortgage. And you're burning candle at both ends. Personally, I look back upon that. I come home, my kids were asleep. I get up, the kids are asleep. What kind of living is that? There's something wrong with that picture. Part of the American dream is, having a family, being able to see them. Unfortunately, the way things were for me personally, I had to work 7 days a week. And rarely did I get to take a vacation. So I missed a lot with my kids. Even with all that, I still maintained to stay close to them. Many a time, I'd get home, they'd be asleep, I'd eat and so forth, and try to relax a little bit. But I always managed to step to their bedroom doors. I don't know if they heard me or not. I tell my kids I love them. That was a ritual. I wanted my kids to know that Daddy loves them. Well, even to this day, we communicate over the internet, get through face calls, Facebook, whatever, and we're still pretty close. They got their own lives, so time is limited. You struggle all those years trying to have that light at the end of the tunnel. Well, a lot of things happens during those times. and most people, well, not most, but some end up similar to my case. Uh, Things just don't pan out. Things happen. And in some cases, like me, you end up in divorce. And you are struggling again, trying to put some kind of life back together. That light at the end of the tunnel looks so dim, you wonder if it's there or not. And you'll probably cross times that you really just wanted to give up. Well, I'm one that doesn't give up easily. So I focused on getting all my debts paid. I had payment-itis, as they say. I look back on that and that's pretty dumb. There were a lot of ways I could have avoided payment-itis. But at the time I thought I had to have those items. 2 vehicles, things of that nature, new furniture, remodeling, so forth. But I gave all that up, and I'm glad I did. And I started out with scratch again. The reason I'm talking about this, I'm sure there's people out there similar to my case. You end up at retirement age, after everything you worked for, you're alone. And you're getting ready to end your work cycle, or already have. And then you're treated like, or you're old, and you don't need to be out and about. You need to be unseen, out of the picture. No. That's another reason things are set up the way it is. After you've used all your usefulness, you're no longer a benefit to, say, a company or whatever. No, when you cross that 50 mark, uh, if you're not holding on to a job at that point, getting another job is difficult for a lot of reasons. One thing is health insurance. A company that has a lot of employees, uh, they do everything they can not to hire anybody of age because it affects their insurance premiums. So it's very difficult once you cross that 50 mark. Fortunately, me personally, I had multiple talents, so I was still able to function and bail myself out, as you might say. Get out from all those financial burdens. My personal vehicle, I got it down to a point where I could sell it and pay that debt off and purchase a used vehicle, which I did without having a payment. But the flip side of that is, even though I had a used vehicle, now I was considered a senior citizen, as they say. My insurance premiums skyrocketed because I was divorced. Can't win. You just can't win. So I spent my last few years in the U.S. Alone. I did manage to. I go once a week to the local steakhouse, and the place I went to, they got so used to me coming every week, they had my table reserved and my coffee sitting there when I got there. I always got there usually around 5 p.m. Give or take 10 minutes, something like that. And 90% of the time, my table will be reserved with a pot of coffee sitting there. And it got to a point I didn't even have to place an order because they knew exactly what I was going to order. And during my first cup of coffee, here come my food. Um, Nice ribeye with a big baked potato and a salad. I do miss that. But I don't miss being alone. So, that point in time, you know, most of the women consider you, if you wasn't of wealth or well-doing, and you're older, you're useless. They shun you. I'm driving an old vehicle, and I looked down upon me. I could feel it. When I go to the grocery store, I noticed that I get avoided. If I go down an aisle, uh, I've noticed even women close to my age, they make a heading towards another aisle until I cleared the aisle. You notice these little things when you're alone. So that's sad, and it puts you in a. I'm sure it puts a lot of people that sees this into a stage of depression. It affected me. You know, it, I can honestly say I probably I was in a stage of depression. But fortunately, my mind works different than a lot of people. I started looking for avenues to change. I've always had a dream of living on a tropical island. Well, all those years I thought about, I didn't think about the Philippines. I just thought about Hawaii. But that got to the point where, it's just unaffordable, period. Especially if you're going to retire on Social Security. I mean, it's just beyond realistic. But, I had a bug in my ear from a beloved uncle that had been to the Philippines during World War II. And he talked about the people here. And that kind of stuck with me. Of course, the internet was still new, uh, but it was still a tool that I found very useful. And I started talking to women around the world, especially in the Philippines. Now, finding grace was, I don't know, it was just a miracle. When we started talking, we talked for hours, and at that time, you didn't have uh, video chats through like with Facebook and so forth and other medias. Only thing we had that was anywhere close at that time was Yahoo Messenger, which had a video chat available, which was great. I miss Yahoo, their messenger service. No, I've had my Yahoo email since 1995. I guess I'm one of the few people who stuck to one email. But I can remember when even then the Yahoo chat was just, you didn't have, you could send pictures, and that's about it. And during our video chats, and I look back on that, the difference in camera quality. This is before smartphones. Uh, they were just starting to get out, and they just, of course, the phones at that time, the cameras were pitiful. So, Grace had to go to computer shops, computer cafes, internet cafes, what they call them. And they would have cameras, and the quality was quite poor, but it worked. That's when I started saying I need to make a life-changing decision. It was a gamble. I've never met this person in life, real life, just on video chats. And I was debating that maybe this wouldn't, maybe she's not the person I perceive. It was difficult. And when you're alone, a lot of crazy stuff goes through your head. And especially if you've had things happen in life, and always falling off that ladder, you have an uneasy feeling. And it makes it very hard to make a decision, to step out there beyond your safety margin that you've built around yourself. Yeah, I have my safety margin. I'm sure a lot of you out there probably have done the same thing. You stay within a boundary that you feel comfortable. That being alone is not good. No, speaking of that, no, I want to think of one particular person that I knew that spent his life alone, especially after retirement. And he was such a fine person, an inspiration, and taught me many things. He was very talented in everything he did, especially in mechanics. He enjoyed sharing with me tricks of the trade, as I say. I enjoyed him. But he was alone, and he died alone. Now, the upside of this is that I did take that gamble, as you know. And I can't say that I don't know what to say. Words just can't describe it. Now, we got an event coming up here in a few days. And Grace has went out of her way to make sure I have that special day. It's that time of year again. I get to celebrate another year of life. And fortunately, it's with someone I really care about, and she cares about me. I mean, it's for real. You know, it's the little things that she does that makes a difference. Something simple. She got this for me. I don't know if you can see it or not. But she thought it was something I would enjoy, which I do. It meant a lot to me. Anyway, if don't give up. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. That's the whole focal point of this video here. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. But only you can make that change. But when you do make that change, there's a few things you need to keep in mind. It's planning to secure yourself to where you can stand on your own 2 feet without falling down again. Fortunately, I had someone to keep me standing upright. So, folks, if you watched it this far, if you don't mind, subscribe. Thank you.